Hey guys, I am at 1 year. Today marks my 1 year anniversary of posting videos to this channel. Um, Obviously, I have to start by thanking you guys. As of right now, time of recording, I have 50 subscribers, which, I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting maybe 10. 15 would have been awesome. So this is crazy to me that 50 of you care enough to follow what I do, because it's just a hobby. This is what I do for fun on the side. It's not it's not super serious, but it's fun. It fills in the free time. But to celebrate, I decided I wanted to do a little Q&A. I wasn't quite sure what to do for a while to celebrate my 1 year mark, but at the end of the day, I decided, I don't know, I wanted something kind of fun that could involve all of you guys. So 2 weeks ago, I put out a little short. About a week ago, I think I posted to the Facebook page asking you to submit some questions. And some of the questions are really good. Some of them make me think. Some of them, I feel sorry for you. I don't know how to respond to some of you. But anyways, let me fill my little Death Star ice cube up first, and then we'll get started. It's American honey wild turkey, in case you were wondering that. And then, naturally, if you've seen the channel, you know what it's being mixed with. I know I usually crack this open at the end, but a little sip and tail never hurt, huh? Anywho, let's get to it. Welcome. So, from the top, I took all the questions, put them in a list randomizer, and just hit shuffle. So, starting with, what made you become so interested in firearms? So much so that it became a passion of yours. And I don't know if there's like a certain time frame, certain period that I could like pinpoint. I've been around guns forever. Growing up, my family, I don't think you'll be able to see with the glare, but, and now it's too dark, but this picture up here is actually family property. That is the farm that my dad grew up on, and we go there every year and shoot. That's just, I don't know, part of how I grew up. So, been around guns forever. And then never really lost interest in them. Always been interested in them. Always thought they were cool. I've always been into, I don't know, the mechanics behind them and stuff. And then, fast forwarding through life, after I got out of college, I went to college to be a band teacher because, again, musical instruments, I like the mechanics behind it. There was a point in my life where I wanted to open a musical instrument repair shop. But after college, I applied to, well, my high school to be the band director. and they were basically like, we don't really have the budget right now. Enrollment's kind of down. And so I just like, okay, well, guess I'll need a summer job. Where can I apply? And I found the company I work for now, turned in my resume, they interviewed me, and ta-da, I was there. So now I sell guns. That was 2018. And then it was part of work, part of the culture I was around every day. So because I worked a gun counter, all my coworkers were into guns, I was into guns. And then I started getting all the like GunTube channels. I started watching more and more. I'd seen them, for years, but I actually started getting into them, and what I did was go back to the beginning and watch, just binge GunTube channels. I think I started with 22 Plinkster, then Demo Ranch, Brandon Herrera. No, Kentucky Ballistics, then Brandon Herrera. And so that just, guns became part of my everyday life, everyday routine. And the passion just kind of grew from there, along with the collection. So I think that's kind of how that built. Next up. How many Mountain Dew cans can stop a 9mm? Which was followed by, you beat me to it, which was followed by, I second this comment. So y'all seem excited about that one. I don't know, but I do know what my next video is going to be. And I might even shake it up too. You didn't specify what kind of 9mm, so I could take this from a few different angles. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So that one, I'm going to go with, wait for the next video, and you'll find out. We'll figure it out together. Next. Okay. I know you're going to be watching this, but I'm not really sure what the question is. The question is, buy American? Are you asking, do I buy American? Should I buy American? Have I bought American? Guns, ammo? To be honest, not exclusively, but yes, a lot of my firearms are American made. In some cases, I have gone out of my way to buy the American version. For example, my Smith & Wesson Governor, I could have bought a Judge for like half the price, but I wanted the Smith & Wesson, and that was one of the selling points for me. It was made in the USA as opposed to Brazil, and had 6 shots instead of 5, and it could shoot a 3rd caliber, whereas the Judge is only 410 and 45 Colt. The Smith & Wesson comes moon clip, so you do 410, 45 Colt, and 45 ACP. So extra round, extra caliber. It was worth it for me to go with that one. And yes, it being made in the USA was also a little bit of a factor. But I don't exclusively, no. I have some guns made in Germany. I have some that are Turkish. Some from Europe. My guns are from all over. But a lot of my ammo I buy American or make myself. But yes, I do buy American, if that's what you're asking. If not, I'm so sorry. But thanks for submitting a question anyways. Next. Ooh. Okay. So, obviously I've seen these questions because I had to put them into the randomizer. And this is one that I kind of have to really think about, but not really. So, the question is, what is your favorite caliber? And, not to be technical, but I'm quite confident you're looking for a cartridge, specific cartridge. If I had to pick a favorite caliber? I don't know. I want to say 22, because most of my videos have been on 22. 50, who knows? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite caliber per se, but favorite cartridge. Funny story, if you go back to the welcome video, my pinned video on my channel, I think I say my favorite caliber is 460 Smith & Wesson, because it's versatile. It's a handgun round. I like handguns. And you could use it for relatively big game hunting. You know, it's a large caliber. But since then, I have very much fallen in love with the 8.6 Blackout from Q. And now it is SAAMI approved, so it's official. I think I'm going to go with 8.6 Blackout as my favorite caliber, because that thing is insane. If you know anything about it, it's insane. If you don't know anything about it, I'm kind of picky when I buy guns. So, realistically, it may not be another 2-3 years before I get the one that I want. But eventually, stick around to the channel and I will tell you everything about the 8.6 Blackout when I get a firearm in said caliber, cartridge, what have you, because it's pretty cool. But it's my final answer for now. 8.6 Blackout. Was there a specific time or moment that you remember in which you discovered your love of firearms? So, this is similar to the first question, in which I don't know if there's a specific moment per se. But to me, it's also a little different, because I don't know, the first one was when I really got my passion for it. This one, to me, is asking just my general love is how I'm taking it. And definitely just shooting targets on the farm with Dad. Pie tins, Coke cans. I mean, I grew up shooting soda cans. Literally, we'd save Mountain Dew 2 liters. The love of Mountain Dew started long before the love of firearms. Say what you will. Some people might think it's weird. Some people will definitely relate. But, like, growing up, you know how in the fridge there was, like, that community cup that was just always full? And as a kid, you never had to fill it because there was always a drink in it. And you just kind of drank from it? You, your siblings, and your parents? It was just this random cup in the fridge that was always full? Yeah, ours was Mountain Dew. All the time. So, Mountain Dew is probably flowing through my veins to some extent. That is not a new love affair. But shooting on the farm is definitely some of my most fond memories with firearms. And the love definitely started at a young age. That was our family time. Me, my dad, my sister shooting targets out in the fields. there is one moment in particular that really stands out, but I believe it kind of goes hand in hand with another question on the list, so I think I'm going to wait for that question to come up, and then I'll backtrack. Because there is one specific moment involving a trick shot. And I'll leave it there. So, next. What is the biggest caliber rifle you've ever shot? I think I'm right in saying, let me, I've shot some guns. Yeah, I am pretty confident. I brought some props here. So the biggest caliber rifle I've ever shot would be the 50 BMG. Pretty big, taller than my whiskey glass, which, by the way, was a gift from my little sister when my godniece was born, because I was promoted at work and my godniece was born in the same week. So it says only the best uncles get promoted to godfather. And I freaking love this. It's so special. And it's become like a go-to glass. But 50 BMG is the largest rifle caliber I have ever shot. Oh. So I was kind of not looking forward to this one, but I had a feeling it was going to come up. What made you want to start a YouTube channel? So, it's kind of personal, but I believe in honesty and full transparency. Long story short, I was once married. I am now divorced. And post-divorce, I was depressed and lonely, and I would work all day long and come home to a sad, empty house. And one day it clicked. I, got a little self-realization and was like, this is not great. You need to find something to fill your time, because I would come home from work, take a nap, wake up, eat dinner, go back to bed, and just sleep all night, sleep all day. On my off days, I'd play a little Xbox and take naps. Not a very healthy lifestyle at all. It was sad, depressing, and I needed a way out. And around the time I finally got the realization, the click, like, okay, something's got to change, was around the time that I got to go to Demolition Ranch the first time. And so, I don't know, around that time also, I think 2-3 months after I went out there is when Matt announced his retirement. So, not that I was going to be the next Demolition Ranch, but I'm like, hey, there's going to be a gap in the market, right? Let's just make YouTube videos. Kind of the, how hard could it be? Famous last words, right? But it was an outlet. I needed a new hobby. I needed something to do. My regular hobbies, aka sitting around playing Xbox or watching movies, just wasn't cutting it. I was not happy, and I needed a change, and this is what I picked, and I couldn't be happier. It's fun. It is. And then a lot of the big YouTubers, like, oh, I don't watch my own content. It's bad. I'm just gonna judge myself. Not me. I enjoy watching my videos. After I edit them, I will sit and watch the whole thing end to end. Just because, I don't know, it's fun, it's cool, it's new, it's different, and I'm so happy. And once again, I'm so happy that you all are along to follow. Because I truly appreciate it. The fact that you're interested in my goofing off means a lot. So once again, thank you. But yeah, that's the sad, depressing truth as to why I started the channel. Moving on! Oh, wow, okay. What is the coolest trick shot you've ever seen? So, I'm going to twist that up a little bit just to kind of backtrack to that last question. And I'm going to say, what is the coolest trick shot I've ever done? And this was one of my core memories with firearms. And it was the Annie Oakley shot. I had just watched probably all of Top Shot. I'm sure it was on Netflix or something, and I've just watched all the seasons, all the episodes, whatever, of Top Shot. And that was one of the things they did. And I'm sure somewhere in, like, every episode, there's a, remember kids, don't try this at home. Well, I tried it at home. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Annie Oakley shot, it is taking a rifle, putting it over your shoulder, and then aiming with like a hand mirror, a makeup mirror. And I did it on the farm. I got my grandma's hand mirror and just a little 22. I think it was a single shot bolt action, and lined up the sights in the mirror, and then pulled the trigger with my thumb. And I did take a little longer, than just throwing it up to your shoulder to aim, because your sights are essentially backwards. But I mean, I hit bullseye first round from like 25 yards. I don't know, 25 yards maybe. And I mean, I was shooting at a pie 10, so there was a lot of margin for error. But I mean, I hit in the center of the pie 10. And that was exciting. That was cool. That first shot, I hit my target, and it blew me away. I'm like, ha! I did the thing on the competition show, and I did it. So I was so proud, and that was exciting. And in fact, years later, it sounds like any sappy movie ever. Oh, I want to make my dad proud. Someone had asked my dad, "Did you ever think your son would pick his career in firearms?" He said, "Well, I don't know if I'd ever thought of him making a career out of it, but I knew it was in his blood. Because one time he took my mom's old hand mirror and a gun and shot it over his shoulder and hit the target." And this was, 10, 15 years later that he brought it up. And I'm like, oh my God, he remembers that? It made just an impact on him as it did me. And that was one of those, my daddy's proud of me moments in life. So that was part of my love of firearms, was, again, sharing moments with Dad and actually impressing my father, which I wasn't planning on doing. I saw something cool on TV and wanted to do it myself. I saw guys play with guns on YouTube and wanted to do it myself. Here I am. So, there's that. What's the coolest trick shot I've ever seen? I'm going to give two. One of them was, to me, the coolest trick shot I've seen live and in person. And I was at a gun show. I want to say it was maybe the first Ducks Unlimited Expo. But there were some, trick shot shotgunners. And the guy took like a stack of clays. One of the guys took the stack of clays, the other guy was facing the other way, and he threw it up in the air. The first guy threw it up in the air, the second guy turned around and hit like 8 to 10 of them before they all hit the ground. And to me, that was cool. So that's probably the coolest one I've seen in person. I haven't really been to many, like, I don't know. Are there trick shot competitions? I don't know. But to me, the coolest trick shot I've seen ever was, and I honestly, I may be blending a few. I don't remember for sure, but 22 Plinkster once skipped a 22 over a lake, and the bullet skimmed off the lake and hit the target. And I don't remember if it was just a target or if, I know he's big on splitting playing cards. For some reason, I want to say he skimmed the lake and split a playing card. But I might be confusing myself. Either way, for me, it was skimming the bullet off the lake and hitting the target on the other side of the lake dead on, whatever it was. It could have been a string, it could have been splitting a playing card, but it was something impressive that stuck with me. That's the coolest trick shot I've ever seen. And also, kids, why they tell you not to shoot at water. Because the bullet doesn't always go in. Sometimes it skims and ricochets and deflects and... yeah. But, I know that was kind of a two-parter. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Next. What is your favorite round and or ammunition to shoot? Again, kind of a two-parter. My favorite ammunition to shoot, let's start from the back because that's easy, is 22 long rifle. Because it's cheap. And there's no kick. And it's just fun. What is my favorite round to shoot, though? Honestly, of all my guns, probably my 454 Casull. I don't know, it's fun getting the reactions out of people. It's my favorite to shoot because it's my favorite to watch others shoot, I guess. But it is, at the same time, not my favorite to shoot because my collection is, or my stock is getting low and it's not cheap to buy. And I don't yet have dies to make. Maybe that might be the route to go. But, I like that one. At the end of the day, though, what is my favorite gun to shoot? I know that wasn't part of the question, but if it was... I don't know how to phrase it, but my favorite shooting gun that I own. Like, it's the smoothest, it's the easiest to shoot, it's just fun no matter how you slice it, is the Colt Python. So, in that case, it would be 357 or 38s. So, I don't know. There's a lot. It's hard to pick just one. But, I turned your two-part question, I made a three-part question, and I somewhat sort of answered it. End of the day, my favorite to shoot at all ever is 22. Because it's cheap and fun. Next. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is like a real question that makes me think, and I don't know what I think. Is the continuous addition of new rifle calibers good for shooters, or only good for the industry when compared to the opposite state in pistol cartridges? And I think part of the reason I have such a hard time with this question is I go against the flow, if that makes sense. So I like that they're adding a bunch of new rifle cartridges. Well, it doesn't really affect me yet because I don't necessarily have the land to shoot rifles except when I go there once a year. And it's a bit of a drive, and I can't just drive cross country with a vault full of 1,000,000 rifles, so most of my collection is pistols. But more often than not, if I buy a new gun, it's, ooh, I don't have that caliber yet. So the fact that they're adding new calibers, hey, that's fun for me. Whereas if you're looking at the pistol cartridges, I'm partially upset that we're seeing a lot more die off. Granted, I don't think they're, gone forever, but, I like my 25s, I like my 32s. Basically obsolete, especially the 25. You've got 22 out shooting that. 40 is one that in the gun industry is dying off. Manufacturers aren't really making it too much anymore, but a lot of people are still interested in it. So that one, I don't want to say might be bad for the industry because, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. The uptick in 10 millimeter has kind of decreased 40 millimeter. 40 millimeter. Wow. 40 caliber. 40 Smith & Wesson is dying off because 10 mil is taking off, and 40 is just 10 millimeters short. So if more people are buying the normal round, the short round, short round, you call him Dr. Jones, dog. The shorter one isn't as necessary, I guess. I don't know, but a lot of people already have guns in them. I don't know. At the same time, they have added new pistol cartridges. They just didn't take off. Look at 30 Super Carry. Is that 2-3 years ago now? Federal launched that. I've got one. I think it shoots well, but it didn't, I don't know. It filled a gap in the market that wasn't necessarily needed, especially with the change in firearms technology throughout now. God, I feel I'm going to go off on a tangent. 30 Super Carry is supposed to compete with 9mm and 380, right? You have more knockdown than the 380, but you can hold more in a magazine than the 9. That was the basic premise of 30 Super Carry. But a lot of the guns nowadays, look at the SIG 365 macro. In a gun, concealable, you got the full 17 rounds of a Glock 17. So capacity is almost not a factor anymore because you can get full-size capabilities out of a carry-size gun. But as far as the rifle calibers, them adding, it feels like 2 or 3 a year now. Some of them are good at what they do. Again, I don't hate it. I don't know if it's necessarily good for shooters or just the industry. I'm gonna say for the industry, it's I don't know if it's necessarily good for the industry, except for the people like me who buy them just because it's new. But there's a lot of people who are just, oh, I grew up shooting this caliber, I want all my guns in this caliber. Or same thing with the pistol, you'll get people, I want all my rifles in this caliber, all my pistols in this caliber. So it doesn't matter how many new guns, new cartridges, new calibers they come out with. A lot of people just buy what they know, buy what they're used to, and that's it. Now there are some that come out that aren't necessarily appreciated that eventually take off. I know 350 Legend has been pretty big. It's great for youth, and for us, Louisiana and Mississippi, for sure. I don't remember if anyone else has adopted it yet, but a single shot straight walled cartridge you can use for primitive. So black powder season, you don't necessarily have to use black powder anymore. You can use a single shot rifle, a crack open single shot rifle in certain cartridges, and that's one that's included. It's a straight wall cartridge. That I don't know if I own one. But anywho, I'm not gonna waste forever looking for it. But that's one that was not appreciated when it first came out, and now we sell a bunch of them. So the new cartridges will either find their way or they won't. And some cartridges are just made to test the boundaries of physics. I don't know. Of rifles and cartridges in general. Like your Creedmoors, your PRCs, your backcountry. They're just there to push the limits. Not necessarily to push the market. At least in my opinion. But some of them might be game changers one day. Who knows? Anywho, I think I've spent way too long thinking about this question. I hope I've somewhat answered some of it for you. If not, you know where to find me. We'll chat later. Next. When are we going on a helicopter hog hunt? That is kind of a life goal. And I may have some people who can help with that. I know some people who know some people who might be able to arrange that. But I haven't quite started looking into it yet. I have some, we'll say, catching up to do financially post-divorce before I worry about that. But it'll happen. Don't worry. And now that I know you're interested, make a trip out of it. We'll get there. Don't you worry. L-Dub's got you. What is your favorite gun? Loaded question. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm gonna go with 2. My favorite gun that I own, and my favorite gun that I don't own. My favorite gun that I own, in my heart, truly 100% biased, because at the end of the day, it's not a great gun, is my SPAS 12. Because, oh my god, I own the shotgun from Jurassic Park, from Terminator, from the 007 video games growing up. It just, I own an icon. And I love it. I do. It's in the logo of the channel for a reason. But I just saw a video from SHOT Show of this year. So obviously I like Q. And I like 8.6. And I like the fix. I know the boombox is the big thing, an AR in this caliber, but I like a bolt gun. But there is a mini fix. Well, there is a mini fix, but there is a fix that is shorter, and they made one specifically that is, I want to say, a 4-inch barrel, folding stock, with a built-in suppressor. And so the Lunchbox SD, I think, is the coolest upcoming project that almost seems like it'll never be released to the public. I don't know. I know the Lunchbox was, but the Lunchbox SD would also be a gun to own. But I think, unfortunately for me, I think it's one of those you got to know somebody to get on the list, to know somebody to possibly maybe get one. Kind of like how the Lunchbox was. But that, now that I've, found the Holy Grail, my Franchi, that would be the Ark of the Covenant, I guess. I don't know. Indiana Jones. But that's one that I would love to get my hands on and at least shoot. Own would be amazing. But who knows? So, Lunchbox, SD, Franchi Spas 12. Favorite guns. Ooh. Do you have any collaborations or special guests planned to be on your channel for 2026? Yes and no. I have nothing officially planned, but I have ideas. As far as collaborations, were I a betting man, more likely than not, I would say BioBallistics Firearms, my buddy, whom I also used to work with, and he's been on the channel before. Not so much a collab, but you've seen him. We'll probably do an official collaboration at some point this year. I think is very highly likely because I've talked about it, he's talked about it. So that one. As far as special guests, nothing is set in stone. But later in the year when we go back to San Antonio, there may or may not have been an offer made that, if it comes into fruition, could be a special guest on the channel. But there's no actual promises. There's nothing set in stone. So, we will see. That's a huge maybe. But who knows? Anything's possible. I didn't think I'd be shooting machine guns in my first year, so. The world's a template. But, yes, I think Were I a Betting Man, BioBallistics Firearms, and I will do a collab at some point in the near future. Why does it hurt when I pee? I am not a doctor, nor am I a registered gunsmith. So, not even a hammer can fix that. I don't know. Seek medical attention. Cleaning rods are for down the barrel of guns only. And use protection? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Good luck, though. Yeah. Some of my friends. What's the biggest handgun caliber you've ever shot? Okay. So, I'm going to do this one twofold. Because, although it is not actually a handgun caliber, the biggest caliber I've ever shot out of a handgun is .45-70. But to me, that is cheating. Because once again, not technically a handgun caliber. So, my official answer .500 Smith & Wesson is the largest handgun caliber I've ever shot. I was at a range officer training course one time, and we skipped lunch, so we finished the class early, and at the end of the day, the range owner was like, hey, you know, technically y'all still have an hour left. If y'all want, y'all can go in the range and shoot. We'll waive the rental fees and waive the range fees, just kind of a thank you for using our class for this. And I remember it. So only two of us took him up on the offer. And one of the guys was like, the other guy was like, you know, this was right when the Glock Slimline came out, so the 43X, the 48. He's like, you know, I'm a big Glock fan. I've been selling the heck out of these at the gun counter, and I just want to make sure I'm steering customers right. I would like to shoot the 43X just so I can, you know, get a first-hand experience of what it's actually like. I can give more in-depth, sell even more of them at work. And then me, Monkey Brain, was like, big shiny. I want to shoot the 500. He had so much thought in there. I'm just like, down one. So that is the biggest handgun I've ever shot. It was not as terrible as some people make it out. But to be fair, I was shooting, it was like 350 grain, you know, target ammo. Whereas compared to this one, this is 600 grain freaking log right there. But that is the largest handgun caliber I have ever shot. But not the largest caliber I've ever shot out of a handgun. Phrasing. Oh, well, last one, guys. Oh, and this one. Dang, it would do this one last. What is your most unique caliber? So, here's the thing. I have a couple that I think are in the same boat. And now I'm drawing a blank as to what they are. I know one of the most unique cartridges I own is going to be my 50 BMG slap round. Sorry, Scott. This is what I don't want to say made Kentucky Ballistics famous, but this was a big event in his channel history. It's this bad boy right here. But I know, let's see, this is honestly the entire reason I have my ammo collection out, was for this question, and now it is occurring to me that the one I'm looking for isn't going to be in this box. Unfortunately. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm usually prepared. It's my first live show, don't be mean. Startup time. Oh, okay. So, one of them I consider the 5mm Remington Rimfire Magnum. I'm going to call it unique in the sense of not many people have heard of it, not many people know what it is. Literally, I bought this box of ammo because I'd never heard of it. And before I started collecting guns, I started collecting ammo. And so I saw this at a gun show, and I bought the ammo, and knowing that I would never see the gun in my lifetime because I looked it up, and there was Remington was the only one who really made them. They made 2 models, and they were both discontinued in like the 60s. So I'm like, I'm never going to find the gun. But the ammo's still cool. And then one came into the gun shop, and naturally it had to leave with me. So that is one that I consider unique as well because even though it is Remington, today Aguila is the only brand that still makes ammo for it. This is it. So that's a cartridge kind of on its way out, or already obsolete, if you will. So that's one for sure. The other one that I would say is kind of in the same boat. Let's see if I can find it. Oh gosh. Well, let's see, it's labeled, isn't it? 2, 9. The fact that these are labeled and I still can't find what I'm looking for. None of these look right. Where's my ammo? Oh. There we go. Okay, so one of the other ones is 45 Gap Glock automatic pistol. Glock action pistol. Again, just a dying caliber. The only guns really made for it were made by Glock. And this year, as you may or may not know, Glock kind of, I don't say cleaned out their inventory, but streamlined their production to their best-selling firearms, basically, and discontinued this gun. So this caliber really is, the firearm is only made by one company, and that company just discontinued the firearm. So it's on its way out. The cartridge itself, as far as I can see, is only made, again, by one ammo manufacturer at the moment. So, again, is it unique? But it's definitely one that's uncommon for sure, and probably going to become less common than that in the near future. But if I have to choose just one that I think would be my absolute most unique caliber, cartridge, what have you, I think it would be the 9mm Flaubert. It is a 9mm rimfire shotgun shell. Used for pest control in Europe. And once again, reoccurring theme here. As far as I know, there's only one brand that makes ammo for it. At the very least, there's only one brand that imports it to the US. And it took me forever to find someone who had it in stock. And I went to their website, and I went to order 2 boxes, and they said, sorry, we only have 1 in stock. So, by that logic, I have the only box in the US. Now, I know that's a lie, but definitely hard to find. Definitely unique, because when you think 9mm, you think, 9mm Luger. When you think rimfire, you think 22. And when you think shot shell, you think shot shell. So, it's very unique. So I think that would be my winner. And with that, double check. Yep. With that, we are out of questions. So, we have made it a whole year. There are 50 of you who like it enough to repeatedly come back, officially. Thank you so much. And with that, here's to the next 1 year. Thank you, appreciate you, love you, and I'll see you next time. P.S. I know no one asked this, but why today? Why did I start my channel today? Well, there's one reason that I really don't want to end on that note. This would be my wedding anniversary, is one reason. So I started today to have a happy memory to go along with it. Another happy memory to go along with it. The other reason that I'm focusing most on is, well, you've noticed in most of my videos, I know there have been a few exceptions, I'm wearing khaki shorts and brown boots. I tribute to one of my lifelong heroes, and today is Steve Irwin's birthday. So, that's one of the big reasons why February 22nd is the date I wanted to launch, and why here we are today, a year later. So, Steve I, to the Irwins, love you. Steve, I miss you. You were a huge part of my childhood, my life, my inspiration. The reason I have so much passion for what I do. If there's one thing I learned from you, it's how to be passionate about your career. So anywho, a second cheers to Steve. And to the rest of you who stayed around, thank you for sticking around, listening to the ramblings of me. And thank you for sticking around to the channel. I hope this year is just as exciting. Goodbye. PPS, I know y'all usually like a blooper reel, but seeing as I did this entire video in a single take, all the bloopers that coulda, woulda, shoulda been were included. So here's Hank Willie. He's still doing great. He's eating full-size rats now instead of the little mice when I first got him. So he's growing and living life, loving, vibing, and yeah. So I figured a little bonus content. Checking in on the Jungleland pets. Huh. Alright. Goodbye again. Thank you, appreciate you, love you.